Hello and welcome back to Purple and Gold Zone Season 2, Episode number 5. Are we already back? Yeah, we're already back. I know I'm coming back quick. I'm coming back at you guys, but we had to do another episode this week. I had to double up. Sometimes we'll do that. There's too much going on not to double up. Lakers obviously took that W against the Suns in the quarterfinals, so we're going to talk a little semifinals. We are also going to talk about the top 5 best Lakers Christmas games of all time. It is going to be a fun show. I'm really excited. Let's get right into it. We got to get it out of the way. We're going to talk about the game as a whole because obviously exactly what I said happened in the sense of dominating them with our bigs and shutting Devin Booker down. That all definitely happened. But before we get into all of that, before we talk about the whole game, we have to go over the controversial ending because there was a lot of Suns fans, Vogel, Booker, and a lot of people on the internet would agree it was out. It went out on the Lakers, but the refs said that LeBron called a timeout and that they still had possession when he called the timeout. What I will say is this, a couple of things. One, regardless of if the ball had gone out, Booker and Durant, they were fouling Austin Reeves. If you are looking at the picture, if you're watching the video version of this show, and if you're not, I highly recommend you go to YouTube and watch it and hit us with a subscription. But if you're watching the YouTube version of the show, you'll see a picture of the very moment where they were double teaming Reeves, and that was extremely smart. Double teaming Austin Reeves was extremely smart because that dude went off last night. Austin Reeves was electric in that quarterfinal game. Exactly what we needed him to do, dropping 20 points. He had a great game. So doubling Austin Reeves makes sense. I credit them for that, of course. That's a credit to his game. That's a credit to their game. But what I will say is this. They definitely fouled him, pushed up on him. And the ref released the official statement because now they're doing that. They're doing a little more accountability. Not really, NBA refs don't have a lot of accountability. And there's the Scott Fosters of the world that are just shit stains. Those are the shit stains in the NBA. Those are NBA ref shit stains, and there's too many of them. So they gotta do some laundry out there, bro. Get rid of those shit stains. But I don't know if the NBA is gonna do that because they don't really do a good job of taking care of that stuff. So maybe they'll finally do that. But either way, ref came out with the report and said that they think that LeBron called the timeout when Austin Reeves still had control of the ball between his palm and his leg. If that is what they are calling control of the ball, then I agree. I guess what's up for question is, do you consider that positioning the way the ball would have been? Do you consider that control? Me personally, as a basketball fan and as someone who used to play basketball, I don't think I would consider that actual control of the basketball. But if that is the basis they are calling it, then that is fine. And then also, like I said, there was a foul. You cannot deny that Kevin Durant and Devin Booker got up on Austin Reeves, tried to apply pressure, and fouled him. They did their best not to, but they did foul Austin Reeves. So regardless of come on, hit me up in the comments. If you don't agree, let me know. If you think something else, let me know. If you're a Suns fan, why the hell are you watching this Lakers show? No. If you're a Suns fan, welcome. It's not too late to change sides. This is the perfect time. But what I will say is this. The Suns absolutely did not win that game. Regardless of this moment, the Lakers dominated them throughout that game. Had the Lakers been down the entire game and then this ending happened, then I can see a lot more fans making the argument and saying, wow, we were robbed. The Lakers played terrible. They only won because of a terrible ending with a terrible call. That was not the case. We're going to go into the whole game as a whole next. I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on because there's definitely some talk about it. It's all over social media, and anyone that would like to have an educated discussion, let me know. If you disagree, if you think it was out, then you let me know. If you think it was, I'm gonna say, like I said, if they are considering that control, then I'm gonna go with he had control because the report that they released backs up their claim, backs up what they called, and I think that is fair. As a former basketball player and just as a fan, I question that a little bit, but they backed up the call with a statement that makes factual sense and can be backed up with video evidence, and there was a foul, so I think it's fair game. I really do. And the Lakers were ahead, and honestly, really solid game. Now, I called the win, obviously. I called it being a 20-plus point game more than what it was, but Still got that W, you already know. And now we are moving on. But before we talk about who we are playing in the semis, let's go over this game as a whole. The Lakers absolutely dominated the Suns throughout the whole game. The biggest way we dominated was the exact way I said we needed to. I mean, when you look at Nurkic only scoring 3 points and only grabbing 8 rebounds, one of Nurkic's things that he can do from time to time is grab 10 plus 11 plus rebounds a game, and we did shut him down, and they didn't get a lot of second chance points, and the fact that he only had 3 is just a testament to the fact that we were dominating that position. Now, Anthony Davis did really disappear after the first half. He was kind of now you see him, now you don't. He did turn into A. Disney. He put his Mickey ears on for the second half. I don't really know why that happened. Like I have said last season, like I will continue to unfortunately probably say this season, his motor runs very hot and very cold, and we saw a very cold performance. At least it was only in the second half. He did throw up 27 points, and he was still extremely effective in the second half with rebounds. I will say just his scoring kind of went down. He had 2 blocks. I mean, it was a really good showing for him. But if we're talking about a masterclass performance, and what I don't want is I don't want this performance to get overshadowed, regardless of what you think about the foul, the out, the timeout, regardless of you think of the loose ball, any of that. LeBron James, in year 21, 31 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists, 5 steals. Masterclass performance, 2 for 4 from 3. I mean, masterclass performance. LeBron is aging like fine wine, and I think that his 3-point is something that, for me, it's really impressing me, and it's really starting to give me hope that this Lakers team is really turning this ship around, because from 3 at least, we're still not good from 3, and we still need to turn our shooting around, but it's a testament that there's definitely work being done. Devin Booker, looking at the other side, back at the other side of the ball with the Suns, Devin Booker scored the same amount of points as Grayson Allen. Shout out to Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen is hooping when he's healthy and when he's not trying to injure people. He's hooping. Maybe that was just the Duke flu. Maybe he's over that now. I don't know. But I don't know. Devin Booker scoring the same as Grayson Allen is probably not what you expect. You want him scoring a 31-plus performance like a Devin Booker, like a Kevin Durant. You want him scoring, like a Devin Booker, like someone like himself, like who he should be. I guess I did not slip up. That is true. He should be playing like Devin Booker, but he should be scoring like a 31-point performance as Kevin Durant did. And he only had 21. Now, he had 11 rebounds. He was their leading rebounder. But that dude had 7 turnovers, and that is thanks to the lockdown defense that was put up on him. We played extremely good defense on Devin Booker, and we played extremely solid defense on this team as a whole, because I originally thought this was going to be a much higher scoring game due to the fact that I was not sure how our defenses would match up against each other. But it was a pretty defensive matchup, and the Suns definitely can play better than they did. Obviously missing Bradley Beal, missing a little more of their depth still with injury. Like, they're not their fullest, but this is the fullest they've been, and arguably this is the worst that they've looked against us. Is that because this is the best we have looked? I'm not entirely sure. When we look at role players, I mean, Prince had a pretty solid performance. He had moments. Cam Reddish, lockdown defense, played pretty good when it mattered. Vanderbilt had a rough game shooting-wise, but again, he is coming back from a pretty big injury and being out, so I assume that will come with, just getting comfortable on the court again. Jackson Hayes, kind of a throwaway game. Max Christie, kind of a throwaway game. Hachimura, another player that is coming back from injury, kind of a slower game, but still pretty solid. Like we said, Austin Reeves, that dude is balling. He honestly plays better from the bench. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think that he plays better from the bench. Again, I don't know how to make that make sense, but I just think that the way that the flow of the game, I just think that he works better on the bench. But even when he starts, I think he's averaging 22.1 off the bench and 19.1 as a starter. So he is, I could be wrong on those numbers. I know it's 22 as off the bench, but he is hooping, maybe a 6th man of the year candidate if he stays in that position, which I think that the way the game flows, they probably will keep him in that position if they continue winning games. And so far, it's worked really well. So Austin Reeves, shout out to him. 20 points off the bench, huge game. D'Angelo Russell, this dude is hot cold. This dude is back and forth. This dude is, now you see him, now you don't. Maybe this is the Lakers magic show with the disappearing act of Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell, because those dudes should go into show business with how much they're disappearing. And D'Angelo Russell has disappeared more than Anthony Davis has, I will say. D'Angelo Russell has had a lot of inconsistent performances, and that's been him his whole career. But when he hoops, he has really solid nights. So unfortunately, that was not a great performance, but we still made up for it and pulled the win off. And it was great. It was a huge win. It was a huge statement game, and it just moves us farther in the right direction and farther from where we were last year, which is exactly what we need to do. So shout out to the boys in the purple and gold. Now it is time to talk about the semifinal, which I will admittedly say I called it incorrectly. The Pelicans did beat the Sacramento Queens, so it is Pelicans-Lakers in the semis. Let's get right into talking about that matchup. Pelicans versus Lakers for the semifinals. You already know I got my boys out here. What I'm going to say is this. This is really interesting. The Pelicans and the Lakers don't have a rivalry. They don't even really have an unspoken one. But we obviously pulled off a huge trade getting Anthony Davis. He's a real driving factor, if not the factor we won the championship in the bubble. So we're linked. The Pelicans are linked in Lakers history for forever. And now it's kind of like, okay, we won the Mickey Mouse chip. But who is the better team now? Who's benefiting more now? Now that the bubble, because that feels like a whole different time. It feels like it didn't even happen. I don't think the Lakers championship in the bubble deserves an asterisk. I think it deserves an exclamation mark. Let's go. But all I'm going to say is this. It was a different time. It feels like it never even happened. And now we're living in the moment. Who is the better team now? Who is benefiting more now? Brandon Ingram has been a driving factor for the Pelicans since they obtained him. Problem has been injuries. Same with Zion. He's had great games. Problem has been injuries. CJ McCollum, great player, has had weird injuries, weird different things back and forth, but he's back. They are the most complete they've been. CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram are pretty consistent offensive players. Zion Williamson, in my personal opinion, while he is having a decent season, he is not averaging his career highs, specifically when it comes to rebounds and when it comes to points. Yes, he's playing pretty decent with his assists. His defensive stats look pretty good, but Zion Williamson is pretty slow to start. How can he not be after missing so much time and just not really being a complete player on this team? So for me, Zion Williamson is not a threat. The biggest threats for me are Valanciunas, Brandon Ingram, and CJ McCollum. Those three dudes are absolute threats, and they will show up to play the Lakers without a doubt. Will Zion Williamson show up? There's a great chance he will, because that dude has great games. But I will say, definitely overhyped. Definitely got this microscope and this spotlight of being the next guy, and it just didn't pan out like that. Some people said it was all that New Orleans good cooking that he was eating, but I think it was just injuries. I mean, it was kind of unfair. I mean, his own fan base, there were floats of him Mardi Gras eating all this food and stuff, like about his weight and all that. I mean, I'm just gonna say this, whatever you want to say about that, his injuries that you saw since college, we saw flashes of problems since college. That's a bigger thing than any weight gain, anything that anyone else will say. But with that, his motor's either hot or cold, and I think there's a great chance it could be cold. But Valanciunas is very aggressive. He's a very big threat. The Suns did not have a guy that I thought could really challenge AD. The Pelicans do, and that's Valanciunas. He definitely can challenge AD. He is a big-bodied guy that can get down there. Do I think AD has a little bit of... I think AD has this matchup. I think he'll take the W. Another thing we have to think about is Anthony Davis goes off when he plays the Pelicans. When Anthony Davis matches up against his old team. He wants to win. He wants to beat them. He wants to prove that the Lakers made the right choice. And so for me, what I'm going to say is this. Lakers versus Pelicans, biggest factor for me, Anthony Davis has to show up. Anthony Davis has to finish the game because the Pelicans have more domination and more size in the paint than the Suns did. And I think they're going to have that. I think that we very well could see Ingram in the paint playing aggressive, Zion in the paint playing aggressive, Valanciunas obviously in the paint playing aggressive, and with that combination, the Lakers need to meet that head on and play aggressive. So if Anthony Davis can play aggressive, if Jackson Hayes can get a little more active in the game, because he did get some minutes, he just was running. He was just running laps. Come on, bro. I thought we were past that. That was a last season thing. Don't just run laps. This isn't a track team, bro. This is not track. If you're trying to run track, hey, the Olympics are this summer, man. Try to get ready for the trials, but this is not that. This is NBA basketball, Los Angeles Lakers. Step it up. Let's go. I gotta see Jackson Hayes play a little bit better because that dude will get one highlight dunk and then disappear, and that's not enough. So Jackson, we gotta see domination and control of the paint. And then another thing that we need to see 110% is we need to see D'Angelo Russell show up. I need to see him have a game where he can score, because for me, a big difference in this game is going to be, can we also control the outside scoring? Can we be smart with the shots we are taking? I do not want to see LeBron take a lot of threes. Yes, he had a pretty decent showing with threes this last game, but I want to see LeBron going for mid-range, going for paint. I want to see us being smart in this game. I want to see the players that are supposed to dominate the beyond the arc, dominating beyond the arc. And for me, that's D'Angelo Russell. So we need to see D'Angelo Russell show up. If D'Angelo Russell has a 20-plus point consistent performance where he rattles off a couple of threes, and Austin Reeves shows up again like I know he will, because once Austin Reeves starts, that dude does not stop. Let me ramble a little bit more because I'm hype about my boys. When Austin Reeves goes, that dude does not stop. So I think he's going to go back again with another 20-point performance. But we need to see D'Angelo Russell match and show up. And when it comes to our role players, as long as they can contribute like they did this last game and play extremely consistent defense, I do think that we're going to see a really, really, really solid showing and a really good game. And I've got my Lakers winning the in-season semifinal against the New Orleans Pelicans and moving on to the championship game. Give me my boys in the purple and gold beating the New Orleans Pelicans in the semis 118-108. We're going to get a 10-point win. It's going to be a nice dub. Anthony Davis is going to have a 30-point, 16-rebound, 3-block, 4-block night. LeBron's going to have a nice night. I do see LeBron possibly having a smaller performance scoring. Maybe not. Maybe he'll rattle off another big one. But I do think that we're going to see a lot of preparation and a lot of that mindset being driven towards getting ready for more than likely Milwaukee. Maybe we'll see the Pacers. But I do think there's a chance we'll see LeBron possibly score closer to like 18-22 tonight, or tomorrow, and when that game takes place. But either way, I've got my boys winning by 10, 118-108. It's going to be a great game, and that will move us on to the championship game. Maybe you'll see another show before then, maybe you won't, but either way, the Lakers are looking great, and this in-season tournament, honestly, I am a fan, and I think it is the motivation that we need. And so there we go. Lakers over the Pels. Let's go. You already know. Well, guys, that brings us to our last segment. We are going to go over my list for the top 5 best Lakers Christmas games of all time. I want to preface first and foremost, not all of these are wins. Best Christmas game all time does not indicate it was a win. It just means it was an exciting, legendary, memorable game. Some of them are wins, some of them are losses, but all of them are super memorable. So let's go over my pick for the top 5 best Lakers Christmas games of all time. Coming at number 5 is the 2011 Los Angeles Lakers versus Chicago Bulls Christmas Day game. This was an extremely exciting matchup because we got to see a prime, healthy Derrick Rose and a very good cast in Chicago go up against Kobe and a very nice, solid-looking cast in LA. The only issue was only one of the cast would show up, as Derrick Rose had a really nice game scoring 22 points, and his game was boosted behind Carlos Boozer's 15 points, as well as Luol Deng's 21 points, throwing in a couple other role players in there that had really nice performances as well to help boost them. While on the Lakers side, Kobe Bryant had a really memorable game, scoring 28 points, and Gasol also had a really nice game, helping provide 14 points and 8 rebounds. But other than those two players and a few points here and there from Steve Blake, it was a pretty forgettable performance from the Lakers cast of characters, and unfortunately that ended up in the Chicago Bulls winning this matchup after Derrick Rose hit a memorable go-ahead jumper, and the Bulls ended up winning this game 88-87. It was extremely memorable and exciting, and it was fun to see a healthy young Derrick Rose go head-to-head against a vet Kobe Bryant. It was a really exciting game, and one of the more recent matchups that is exciting to remember, especially one of the losses that is exciting to remember. Coming at number 4 is the 2001 Lakers vs. Sixers Christmas Day matchup. The Sixers started off the game strong, led by Iverson's dominating first performance where he scored 12 in just the first. The Sixers maintained their lead in the second and played extremely great, but the Lakers started to quietly sneak back and show the team that they truly were. Midway through the fourth, that's when the Lakers finally took the lead thanks to a really nice long three-pointer from Lindsey Hunter. And then the Lakers started to widen this lead, but eventually that failed because the Sixers were a really scrappy team and they kept the score within 6. It ended up going down to the last 15 seconds where Sixers Matt Harpring sank a very nice three-point shot of his own, which brought the team within 3 points to tie, down 85-82. But the Lakers ended up pulling this game off and winning 88-82 with some late points, coming back, winning this game after a slow start, and proving they truly were one of the best, if not the best team. We all know what happened in the end. They ended up winning the chip that season, so they were the best team. But they proved that they were that best team, and they could show up and show out. And this was a really nice showing from the Lakers role players. We saw really nice performances from the Lakers. Arguably more memorable performances and moments in this game came from the Lakers role players. Coming at number 3 was the 1999 Lakers vs. Spurs Christmas Day game. This was a really nice game for the Lakers because they were matched up against the defending champ San Antonio Spurs. The Lakers led with the power duo of Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, while the Spurs led with their power duo, also known as the Twin Towers, Tim Duncan and David Robinson. The entire half, Bryant repeatedly challenged the athleticism of that Twin Towers, outmaneuvering them every opportunity he could, really trying to prove that he was the more skilled player. Robert Horry also was in a super essential piece for the Lakers, scoring 12 points and 5 rebounds in that game, proving that it wasn't just those star pieces. The game remained close in the third, and at one point the teams were even tied, and that tie remained for several minutes as they could not score. The team really went back and forth, and it was really exciting, but in the fourth quarter, Bryant went off and went in for an explosive dunk over Jaren Jackson, simultaneously drawing a foul for an added free throw, which boosted the Lakers' lead, and they did not look back from that moment. From that moment on, the Lakers continued that lead and kept that lead, and you saw a really nice Tim Duncan and David Robinson performance, but Shaquille O'Neal dominated and had a great game, proving that he was the more dominant big man. The Lakers winning that game 99-93 in a fantastic, exciting fashion. O'Neal led the Lakers in scoring with 32 points, while Duncan led the Spurs with 28. It was a masterclass of big men. Coming at number 2 was the 2008 Lakers vs. Celtics Christmas Day matchup. We have had several matchups with the Lakers that have been legendary, but nothing comes close to topping a Lakers versus Celtics matchup. There are 49 years of rivalry that were built up when this came head-to-head, and this was a highly anticipated matchup that was absolutely a revenge game for the Lakers. The Celtics were the defending NBA champs who had just beat the Lakers in the finals the season before, and the Lakers came back ready to play. At the time, Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol led the Lakers,
while the opposite team was Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce. This was a highly anticipated matchup, and it was super exciting and close. The first quarter was extremely close by 2 points. 2 points separated them. The Lakers picked it up, widening the lead 51-45, and when it came to the second half, the Lakers came all in, but so did the Celtics. They battled, holding several ties going into the fourth, but in the end, the Lakers dominated the final 3 minutes of the game. Pau Gasol scored 7 points, and they went on a 13-2 run, which put them over the top, ending the game in a thrilling 92-83 matchup. It was a huge win for the Lakers and a huge foreshadowing of their next championship to come. Coming in at number 1, it was the 2004 Lakers versus Heat Christmas Day matchup. This game was the best because it was the first matchup since Shaquille O'Neal had left in the summer of 2004 amid the strained Kobe Bryant relationship, and this was a huge matchup. The hype surrounding this contest was something that fans really hadn't seen before. Teams were going up against each other, and unfortunately, while Kobe Bryant was really the only Laker that truly showed up on the paper, they still played a great game and they still pushed it and only lost to the Miami Heat by 1 basket, 104-102. Kobe Bryant went at it and Shaquille O'Neal also did. Kobe Bryant tried for a potential game-winning three-pointer at the end of overtime, but it was off, and the Heat ended up escaping. Dwayne Wade and Shaq proved that they were a dominating duo, and Kobe proved that he was going to need some help. Even though he went off, the Lakers failed to match up and prove that they could do the same that he was doing too. But lucky for him, the tides turned later on down the line, but this is still a legendary matchup because of that beef, which fueled such hype with the game.
Well, guys, thank you so much. That takes us to another end of a great Purple and Gold Zone episode. Finally, we can be excited. We can be hyped. I don't have to roast my boys every single show. Man, it feels great. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as always. Please make sure to subscribe, share the show with other Lakers fans, and check out Connor and Heffernan Show. We're going to do a new show sometime this week or next. Be looking on this channel. Subscribe, hit that bell so you just know. But the Connor and Heffernan Show will be out with a new show. We're going to be talking college football playoffs. We're going to be talking big NFL matchups. We're going to be talking NBA. We're going to be talking college basketball. We're going to be talking everything. So tune into the Connor and Heffernan Show. And then Well Beyond the Arc will be back next Tuesday. Make sure to tune in 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be awesome. Well Beyond the Arc is always great. Thank you guys so much. And as always, go Lakers.